Class, welcome back to As the CMMC Churns. Your teacher today is me, Matt Titcomb, the CEO of Peak InfoSec, an authorized C3PO and CMMC provisional assessor. Today, we're continuing our CMMC English lessons with 800-171A sentences. Change the way you read 800-171A. Exciting. More importantly, happy July 4th. Recording this on July 4th. Y'all see this tomorrow on July 5th, so I hope you had a good barbecue, saw some fireworks, and all in all had a good time and were safe and pressing on with your compliance efforts today. So last week we covered assessment objective verbs. Cannot understate these enough. Now again, there's the parts of the determine if that are only used by the assessors, and then there's all the stuff that you all as OSCs need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this set of language and tweak it and adjust it so it makes it easier for you to use as an OSC in doing your job and getting ready for me, an assessor. So the very first part is that as an assessor, this is the way we read it. Determine if the period of inactivity in which the system initiates a session lock is defined. Oh, that's a new requirement at the objective level. You will not find that define verb up in the actual requirement. Again, these are hidden traps that you as the OSC tend to fail as the number one reason you did not address all the assessment objectives because you focused at the requirement level. The number two reason is failing to address all of the components that would apply to. We'll hear more about these as we continue going on. Now, when we look at the next step, let's turn this into a directive statement. You need to, as the OSC, define the period of inactivity. You, as the OSC, need to prevent access. You need to conceal. So turn this into a directive or an imperative statement. Now the good news is these you can use in your policies, plans, and procedures. They're very effective also when you add the assigned roles to them. This is where things get beneficial for you to track and coordinate everything that's going on. Lastly, sometimes it makes sense just to merge as appropriate to keep your policies concise. I'm sorry. I hate long-winded policies. They really drag on and they don't help anybody. So keep your policies concise and short, and what you're going to find is that you will be more successful in getting people to actually follow them. Now, the next one we look at is actually validation. So you've said, this is what we need to do. Now the question is, are we doing it? Have we defined that period of inactivity? Have we done it for all components? Have we prevented the systems from doing it for all components? And does the component actually conceal the information? So, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, all components. The last part that you look at is actually the SSP language. Where is this ODP documented and maintained? Does it cover all of the components? Have we implemented system activity for all the components? Now, when you're doing this, tell the assessor where to look. Make it easier, guide that assessor. One of the things you really want to do is not allow me, the assessor, to go hunting. When I go hunting, I don't find it. It makes it hard. I get frustrated. And I tend to then keep hunting, and I find things you may not think that you've covered. The other thing is, if you tell me where everything is, you're more likely to have controlled it and make sure that you got everything covered. So guide me, lead me to where I need to go find the authoritative answer for all of these things in your system security plan. Likewise, don't over detail stuff in your system security plan. You can go bonkers and make it the kitchen sink land, and we'll talk about this in another as the CMMC churns later on. This creates an OPSEC issue. Pretty much you're giving everybody the really detailed design of how I need to hack you. Be careful about that. There is a balance. It again depends upon how you've approached your certification. If you're doing this in the way we recommend and following configuration management practices, all of those items for Bravo and Charlie are configuration items. You should have a configuration item that documents and defines this, and you're pointing them to the configuration item for the how. So you don't have to spend a lot of time in detail in your SSP. You could say, we've configured all of our system components in accordance with the ODP, and they're documented in their related configuration items. Okay, cool. I know where to go look for the definition, and I now know where to go validate your actual configurations. So when we're looking at this in total, again, take a look at the NIST 800-171A language and tweak it and adjust it. You have a lot of ability in here to add lots of questions. There's no way for us as an assessor or even a body of assessors to come up with each and every question that's possible. This depends upon you, your organization's business practices, how you operate, and yes, all of the system components that the requirements apply to. We'll talk a lot more about that one in our next session as the CMMC churns. So again, thank you all for joining me. I'm Matt Titcomb from Peak InfoSec, and we'll see you next time.